there's a great recent book by Justin Brierley, who is a wonderful podcaster, called The Surprising Rebirth of Belief in God.
Welcome to the Revel Report. We're inspiring faith with reason and reason with faith.
And he, like Jana Harmon, is chronicling many people who are recently coming to faith, largely in Britain, but also in the U.S. And I believe, I'm almost sure that he is about to send a foreword for my new book. So that'll be great. In fact, I hope to get it at the end of today. So, there is a sense, and also the book that you mentioned earlier, Coming to Faith Through Dawkins by Dennis Alexander and Alistair McGrath, is also about former atheists coming to faith. And Jana Harmon has her wonderful channel on ExCommunist. So there is a tendency, there is a trend of some kind. How much, how important, how much it'll last, we don't know. But there is some evidence that the younger generation, Generation Z, is starting to look a little bit into Christianity with some interest. I know that some people are converting to Islam. I myself never considered Islam. It has aspects of it that I find, frankly, repulsive, and I'm not interested in. I've never been interested in following through. But yes, it is. It has become a major contender with Christianity, and I think people like Cameron and David Wood, who I mentioned, are correct to address it, because there are all kinds of reasons to do so, not just theological, but social and political as well.
I mean, even Dawkins was calling himself a cultural atheist, right? Even Alex O'Connor will call themselves a cultural atheist.
Well, the influence of Islam in Britain,
or sorry, a cultural Christian.
Cultural Christian, yes, and the reason is, and some of this is the work of Tom. He wrote Dominion. Can't remember his last name. Sorry, I'm pretty old, so I get these lapses.
You're still very sharp.
He's an atheist philosopher who has come to the conclusion, and getting more and more in that direction, that Christianity was absolutely critical to the growth of our modern, moral, democratic, liberal world. Islam is in the other direction. I mean, it's not Islam. It's not the original Islam. It's the Islam we know today, which was derived from a sect in the late 19th century, the Wahhabi sect, which is incredibly fundamentalist. And that brand of Islam, which took over the whole Muslim world, is regressive. I mean, in every way, socially, politically. I don't know, in any way. So and in Britain, it's scary because, and in other parts of Europe, it's actually scary because it's growing hugely. And a lot of people are saying, wait a minute, better Christianity than this stuff, if that's our choice.
Yeah, I think it was, I don't know where I saw it, but I think there are now 85 Sharia courts in the UK or something like that.
Yeah, some of it is scary. It's really.
And so it's interesting how atheists will claim to be cultural Christian because they want to keep the culture of Christianity.
And what they're admitting is that Christianity is the source of a lot of what we take for granted as good stuff, like education, like, the rights of women, like so many things that started with Christianity, like hospitals. That's where it came from, folks.
Yeah.
That's historical fact.
And some are even saying that, well, the founders of, the founders of America did not want to found it on Judeo-Christian values. They wanted to, they were deists, etc. But the early fathers, the early population of the United States was predominantly Christian as well, right?
Well, not only that, they actually did found it on Christian principles. It practically said all men are created equal.
Yes.
That's a Christian idea. That didn't
Genesis.
come from the Roman Empire. That didn't come from, medieval, unchristian, from the medieval Islamic, takeover. I mean, all men are created equal was, in fact, we still don't follow it, but that's at least the idea. comes from Christ.
Yeah.
And other things in the Constitution as well. So, no, I think it's a mistake to say, I mean, they may not have been, not all of them were Orthodox Christian,
Yes.
but many of them were. But even the ones who weren't, like perhaps Tom Paine, Thomas Jefferson, whatever, they certainly were liberals in the sense of how Christianity affected the world. They believed in all those Christian views about people.
Have you had, I mean, when you were an atheist, agnostic for a very long time, I'm sure you had friends as well who were atheist, agnostic also.
In science, yeah, almost all of them.
Right.
Right.
And have they kind of commented on your conversion or challenged it or questioned it?
Not as much as you'd think. I have several friends in the sciences who are not Christian, never will be, but they're okay. They're okay with me. They don't understand it. They wouldn't follow me. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe, it's a question of who's blessed. Although I think they are blessed people as well. But maybe they haven't had that moment that I described way back, that moment of help me and where do I go and where do I turn? Maybe they haven't had that and they're happy as they are. And as I said before, my first answer and my answer to them is fine. I don't try to convert them. If they have a question, I answer it. But I'm not, in a way, I don't even consider myself an apologist because I'm not out to convert all atheists. I think it's great that other people are doing it. It's just not my calling. I feel much more a calling to try to help Christians who are wavering, who are doubtful, especially if it has to do with science, to help them keep the faith, remain in the faith, grow in the faith. And I fully support the real apologists who are, I don't know how they do it, but they're able to go out there and convince people to come to Christ. I think that's wonderful. I just not one who feels I can do that.
And what would you say to, the student out there who is wrestling with their faith, who's, might have a bunch of these professors there really pushing their ideology in the classroom and they're at the edge. Maybe they grew up in a Christian home, or maybe they're wondering, hey, is this the truth, so to speak?
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who's kind of on the wall there?
Well, I would say to them, read the books. My books, the books of several other people, Michael Gwilyn, several people who are scientists. Read the book by Dennis Alexander, who's a chemist, and Alistair McGrath, who's a chemist, and Dennis is a biologist, and many other people who are scientists who write books about the complete harmony and compatibility of science, the Christian faith. You've been lied to. If you've been told you have to choose, no, that's a lie. It's absolutely untrue. And it's proven so many ways. I have a list in one of the books, I don't remember which, of the scientists who are Christians, and it's almost everyone alive before, 1900, and even after that, it includes a large number of scientists. So it's just a false statement.